r/confessions. Sit back, relax and enjoy this video. I am a Muslim woman who masturbated for the first time. I'm 24 years old, never been sexually active. I recently became super sexually frustrated and decided to masturbate. Masturbation is frowned upon by most Islamic scholars, but some allow it. Well, anyhow, I did it and I orgasmed and it was great. Dog died, wasn't there? Could have been. Early this morning I found my dog dead. Her name was Maggie. I loved her with all of my heart. She came into my life when I was 11, today I am 29. She had a tremendously long life and for that I'm grateful. However, I'm regretful about the way it went down. Earlier yesterday my father, who lives with the dog, as she grew up in the family home and stayed when I moved out, called me to let me know she was not eating for almost 2 days. Considering her age, I was concerned but did not concretely believe she was dying as I've had similar scares many times in the past. Still, I rushed over with some chicken that I bought at a fast food restaurant. Once I got there I knew her time would be soon, but considering that she ate all of the food I had brought for her, and how she seemed okay as she laid on my lap for over an hour while I pet her, I figured she had at least a couple of days. So, I left her to get back home to complete schoolwork that was soon due. I planned to camp out on the couch with her for the following few days to come, because I wanted to be with her when she went. Around 2 AM, I had finished my work and began to feel that something wasn't right, and that my dog was close to death. So, I took the 20-minute drive back to my father's house and I found her dead. She was alone, soiled and away from her bed. She lay at the foot of the chair where I held her mere hours earlier. By the looks of her, I must have missed her by an hour tops. I was heartbroken. I held her and cried. I feel so foolish that I wasn't around for her. I wonder if she was scared, and if she wondered where I was in whatever way that dogs wonder. I'm going to miss Maggie so freaking much. Such a great friend, and such a good girl. I wish I could rewind the day. I wish I was smarter. Update. Wow, I just wanted to say thank you to everyone. It's helped so much to read your stories and well wishes. I feel the pain of all who mentioned their beloved pets dying. It sounds like you're all great and loving pet owners and I wish your pets peace. Mag has now been laid to rest in the yard. I dug a hole where her favorite spot used to be. I'm sure she'd award you all many tail wags if she could. Thank you everybody, seriously, thank you. I was slightly wounded at the Pulse nightclub shooting, but no one knows because I'm in the closet. I'm a gay, closeted, middle-aged man married to a woman for a long time. My secret double life involves occasionally visiting gay nightclubs, among other things. My confession is just what the title says. On the 12th of June, 2016 I was at the Pulse nightclub, enjoying Latino night. I'm not, but I enjoy Latino men for the most part. When the shooting started, I was on the far end of the club, getting a drink. I was nearly herded into the bathroom where a last stand and breach occurred, but instead went along the wall and was able to exit. It turns out later a dude I had bought drinks for occasionally was killed in the shooting. I took a ricochet to the back of my calf which touched bone but didn't break it. Bled a lot. Once outside, I immediately got clear of the area, made my way to my car which was parked a distance away, and then retreated to my office, about 15 minutes away. I did my best field dressing of the wound, stabilizing it and stopping the seeping bleeding for the most part. I ended up seeing my regular doctor the next morning as soon as he opened. He freaked the frick out, told me it was a mandatory reporting situation, and then sent me to the ER. I refused that plan, told him to give my information to the police. The police eventually did contact me, and I referred them to my lawyer. I worked my lawyer to give a statement to the police under confidential terms. They immediately put me in touch with the FBI. Meanwhile, about 24 hours had gone by, and my wound hurt like hell but was no longer weeping blood. The FBI was not playing around, and was very aggressive with my lawyer. I ended up getting treatment from the hospital, a consult with a surgeon, who removed the shrapnel. I told my wife kids that I injured my calf during an early morning run. and wore a compression sock to hide the wound. The surgery to remove the fragment followed a few days later, and was uneventful, except the FBI was there to retrieve the fragment. A plastic surgeon did a slight touch-up on the wound so it looks like a mole was removed. No one in the entire world knows what happened and how Pulse affected me. I sometimes have violent and horrible flashbacks of the scene inside Pulse. It is almost beyond words. Many of my arsehole friends I am forced to socialize with in my straight life are horrible bigots, and not a few of them made cracks after the Pulse shooting mocking the victims, expressing glee, etc. It can be very difficult to keep it all inside. I really had to get that off my chest. Update: there have been a flood of people urging me, demanding, wishing for me to tell my wife or family. This isn't a close call. It's not the point of the post, but anyways, here is a 1-paragraph explanation of why you are wrong. I have essentially always known I was gay. I am of the age that when I realized gay Matt Shepard was just killed, Ellen was still straight, and big city gay culture was unappealing to me. I actively and clearly chose to live a closeted life in order to have a family, and chose a partner and a lifestyle that would suit my goal of maintaining a gay life and a life. Obviously, if I had have known that in less than 20 years the entire culture would have shifted under my feet, I would have made a different choice. My wife and I have a loving, supportive, and otherwise very happy marriage. I am not an unhappy person. I don't regret my choices. In this one case, I was in the wrongest place at the wrongest time in history, essentially. Yes, it was terrifying. Yes, it wasn't a good situation. No, I won't have an epiphany. The people demanding, urging me to come clean to my wife presume that there is unseen harm going on right now, but that's untrue. There is no harm being done to my family at the moment. Pulling the ripcord and opening the parachute is where the harm occurs, and I am perfectly content with living my life as I have constructed it. My family lives a great life, and there is very much good happening from the union. It is not unethical or against my moral code to engage in relationships outside of my marriage, and furthermore it doesn't violate the promises I have made my family, either in the past or present. The parameters of my marriage aren't really up for review, but it is helpful to understand the misconceptions, misperceptions, and bad assumptions that go into the average comment. Update 2, okay, I decide to tell my wife. Update 3, just kidding. That would be stupid. Grow up, people. Update 4, thanks to everyone who commented. I responded to many people, but the volume is too much for me to handle. I was not expecting this relatively sleepy sub to explode like this. A few final points. An unofficial tally has about 1/3 of people thinking I should get therapy. I have been in therapy for most of my life. I have been diagnosed NPD with several variations around that. My therapist isn't able to diagnose BPD, but it's pretty clear we agree that I have that diagnosis as well. There is no cure or really treatment for BPD other than talk therapy, basically. Talk therapy in this case is about developing coping strategies to manage and limit the fallout, and to recognize and emote in socially acceptable ways. Yes, my therapist knows about my entire life, warts and all, but I didn't tell him about Pulse because of the implications of mandatory reporting. I don't think either condition is relevant to the discussion, but it's interesting that so many people ask me about it. Saying get therapy is a little silly. It's like, see a doctor, but then the doctor has no tools. It's a starting point, not an end point. About 85% of people think I should tell my wife. That really isn't in my plan. I have long ago gamed out all the possible options of how this could go, and it introduces a level of chaos that provides unacceptable risks to me. Yes, I am selfish. At this point, going forward, I am confident I have elected the best strategy for managing my affairs, but I have and will continue to weigh all of this constructive and frank feedback, and probably ignore it all, to be honest. Finally, this post has gone wide, and I've been flooded with messages of dudes who want to get together or talk. I will respond in time. I will also be carefully screening people. No offense, but there are a lot of people not looking out for my or my family's best interests and are only interested in imposing their outdated and irrelevant views on me. Update 5. To the people PMing me, hoping they will engage me in conversation, and somehow get enough information to dox me. It was fun fricking with you. It was also fun setting honeypots to get your phone numbers. And to the one user who called my honeypot from a work phone, I hope it was worth your job. You are truly stupid. Oh, you survived. Now sub. Please.